and welcome to Extreme Rules 2015 review. It's your host, World of Wrestling, with his side man and guest today, Matt, is known on YouTube as Matt Eagle 87. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm just glad to be here. Let the comic release begin.
Okay, well, you got that right, Matt. This was definitely a comic relief beyond recognition. This Extreme Rules was garbage, number one. Sorry about the late review, guys. It did take us a while to do this between our work schedules and everything. But we are definitely doing Extreme Rules and collaborating on this pay-per-view based on what happened on the show. So, give me a few...
Before we get into Extremes, I just have a quick update that Bad News Bears has won the King of the Ring tournament.
Well, what? You're giving away spoilers on that. I was going to watch that on the network later on this week. Thanks a lot. That spoiled everything. Well, I'm glad to hear Wade Barrett won the King of the Ring. Hope it does something for him, but apparently King of the Ring doesn't do much for anybody. Anyway... Yeah, well, I mean, it did do something for him, but Wade Barrett, he's a mid-card wrestler and always will be, even though he is a very fine and entertaining wrestler. Anyway, moving on with...
Back to the Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Give me a few comments what you thought about... Well, give me a few comments of what you thought about the show, Matthew.
Extreme Rules, once again, a pay-per-view with no holds bar shittiness. And I put that literally, that doctorated shit. If I know what was done right now, he'd be rolling his grave of what WWE's done to his brand.
Yep.
That's still alive, though.
Yeah. I have to say one thing. This pay-per-view was definitely by far the worst. You told me about a couple of days ago, I think it was just yesterday actually, or Sunday night after the show was over. You said it was probably by far the worst pay-per-view, even worse than Royal Rumble. And after watching the whole thing, I have to agree with you. The show was pretty shitty. But anyway, we both got our comments out there. Now let's go ahead and do the rundown of the whole entire pay-per-view of the matches. First match...
But before we do that, we need to also put an obvious note. We need to address the fact that Daniel Bryan was not at the show.
Well, of course, yeah.
The title could not be defended, therefore there has to be a few shuffling here and there.
Yeah, which brings us to our first match, which is Bad News Barrett versus Adrian Neville, and Adrian Neville walked away as the winner of this match. I didn't really get the chance to watch this match, but I was very certain this match was actually very good and well done and put together. In my personal opinion, I think it should have been placed on the main card, not on the pre-show event. What did you think?
There are good viewpoints. I mean, Neville dodging the hammer in order to execute the Red Arrow, and of course walked away with his first pay-per-view victory, even though it was on the pre-show.
Yeah.
So up for Neville on doing that.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I like I just said, I think it should have been on the main card. This match probably, if I go back, I know for certain it's a pretty damn good match. But anyway, now moving into the main card. The first match on the show, we get Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose. And of course, in part one of this match, they didn't even have a finish.
No, but it was a Chicago street fight. Therefore, you could fight wherever you want in the streets of Chicago. And it turns out, they literally did fight in the streets of Chicago.
Hold on a second, Matthew. Let me just relay something to you. If it's a Chicago street fight, they're a WWE. They're one of the largest wrestling organizations in the wrestling industry. Why wouldn't they have a cameraman following them in that truck to give the audience what was going on behind the scenes, or, you know, a few clips of what happened during that fight, all they told the audience is, they're fighting all over Chicago. Who really cares? We want to see the action. We don't want to see... What's the point in telling us, oh, we're just supposed to imagine what the hell they did around Chicago? Come on, make the match a little intriguing.
Here's what they did. They fought outside the ring, went back and forth, got into a car, and you're like, you know what? You hungry? Yeah, let's go get a big dish. John Cobb beat them, become like that, just finish this match.
Yeah, that's what it could have been. They might as well should have said they went out for pizza or something in Chicago. Or went ahead just to throw a funny joke out there. Go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I got a great idea. How about you and I go ahead and pay a visit to CM Punk and say hi to him while we're at it? Shit, man. But I mean, it was just a joke. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I mean, Dean Ambrose won, which I was happy about that. I was very, impressed that they gave the win to Dean Ambrose. It gives him the opportunity to start having a good build-up and momentum with this character that they've built up with him that got the audience behind him. And it's just it just was so stupid to have a decent match that was going along pretty okay, and then have them drive off in a truck and not give the audience a view of what's going on around Chicago, if that's what they were doing. All it was like an empty promise. We're giving you a street fight. Okay, they went to the streets. Why aren't we seeing anything going on in this street fight? It's called a street fight. Fucking show us a street fight. There was none. It was just a joke, which a lot of the other things happened at this event. My personal opinion, I give this match maybe a 2.5 stars. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought they actually managed to finish the match, and like you said, a part 2, and not just have them drive off. I would give it at least a 3, because they at least, when they did come back, they crashed the celebration party by, the new tag team.
Yeah, we don't give that. Well, I mean, the audience probably already know about that, but I want to get into that one too in the next few matches. So, go ahead and continue what you wanted to say about the rating on this match.
Well, I'd give it at least a 3 because they kept the hardcore value on it. You know, besides the last man's jam match, it really was the only other legit hardcore match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'd say it was one of the hardcore matches. That and the Roman Reigns match, which we'll get into in a few moments. The next match on this card, which was one of the... We'll give you something, we'll tell you this, but we'll do something completely different, is the Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler Kiss Me Arse match. Horrible grammar completely. I always thought you pronounce it kiss my ass or kiss my arse if you're Irish, but they're saying kiss me arse match, which I think is absolutely retarded, and I don't find any of this to be extreme at all. Give me some intake of what you thought about this match.
Well, it goes back to being Sheamus talking this broken Irish accent, or whatever. Being with his new heel gimmick, he wants to humiliate the middle class faces, starting off with Ziggler by making him kiss his ass. Of course, there's no legit kiss my ass scenario better than we feeling this. So I'm guessing
The Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. I hear you.
I'm guessing Sheamus had to, behind the scenes, kiss the chairman's ass even if it's approved, because basically Vince has that thing locked talking to you and copyright and all that.
Yeah. Thing is, this match itself, I have to say, it was pretty impressive. There wasn't nothing bad about it. It was just the ending. After Dolph Ziggler won the match, You're supposed to kiss his ass. That's like them having a hair versus hair match, and Dolph Ziggler wins the match, and then Sheamus shaves Dolph Ziggler's head bald, even though Sheamus lost. I mean, it's just completely it's completely idiotic. It's like lying to your audience, telling them this is what you're gonna get, and then they give you the complete opposite. The winner is supposed to.
Sheamus refusing to do it. Start bitching about it for about 5 minutes, give it to him. Finally, runs around Ziggler, then hits him with a brogue kick, and then shoves his face on his backside.
Yeah, it wasn't even. He wasn't. It was just utterly ridiculous. It was a good match itself. I'd say it was a 3 out of 5 star match. Definitely had some good action in it, wrestling wise, but gimmick wise, it was just so retarded and dull. It was just utterly, and it was wasting of time. A good quality action that they could have thrown into this show, and instead they make it into some kind of fucking, a retarded segment.
That's what we expect now. That's one of the main problems with WWE. They all these stupid gimmick-style matches that already get people attention. It has the exact opposite effect. No one cares about what kind of stipulation it's natural. They just want to see 2 guys beat the crap out of each other.
Well, that's the thing. That's my gripe about WWE and actually professional wrestling overall. I haven't watched a lot of ROH content lately. But that's why I've been coming up with this Mayweather-Pacquiao videos lately, guys, just to my audience, because I really think that it's time that I need to expand on some other sports that, seem more interesting at this time, because right now wrestling is not at the level it needs to be. It's not entertaining. It's just downright dull and boring, and a lot of times we're told by the company, oh, we're gonna get this, and then we get something completely different. This match is a prime example of that.
Hey, can you kids an expansion on some UFC content?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get into that sometime later on this week since you bring that up. Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about some UFC stuff. But we're going a little bit off track here. This is about Extreme Rules, not about all the other things I'm doing on this channel, but just to give you guys, the audience, a little bit of an insight of what I've been trying to do with this channel, even though, yes, it is World of Wrestling, and it's supposed to be mostly based on professional wrestling. I'm trying to broaden my horizons a bit more and give you guys more entertaining value, more positivity, instead of all this negative crap and ranting and raving about how crappy Vince McMahon's making WWE. But let's continue with the ranting to the bitching and moaning with WWE, since this is about Extreme Rules. What was your take on this match overall, wrestling-wise, and the overall rating of this match?
Match-wise, it was good. It was a good, solid, literal, right after the first opener, it's the first middle card match. Ziggler pulled off a good wrestling finisher, just that she basically put it through his mouth and then used to kiss Ziggler's ass. So there you go.
Overall rating on this match, you think?
Match-wise, I'd give it at least a 3.
Yeah. So we're...
Overall, I'd give it at least a 2. Because it did not deliver.
So, wrestling-wise, you'd say it's a 3, but overall, completely, you'd say it's a 2. Is that what you're saying?
Overall, I'd give it a 2.5.
Wow,
In the middle of it.
Wow, we're kind of like switching up here. I said 2.5 with the last one, you said 3 with the first one. Now we're kind of switching it up here. Kind of funny.
Oh, because the first opener had two different parts, and it was entertaining. The match was, had a good match, but the whole stipulation was bullshit.
Yeah. Well, anyway, moving into the next match here. The next match was the New Day competing against Tyson Kidd and Cesaro for the tag team titles. This was very depressing, very sad ending. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro lost their tag titles to New Day. I find this completely insulting.
They don't just win it, they got just lose. They got screwed, but apparently New Day wants to spread, the door of the clock to everyone, if you get my gist.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
Bill's a lunker, so you actually see Kofi Kingston win the match by grabbing the tights. So, Kofi turning heel. Interesting, but not at the right time with the wrong gimmick, I guess.
no. What I personally feel about this situation is New Day would have been okay if they, were having the matches. They were having matches that were involving, them doing well in other matches and being entertaining like they were in this one. I can't deny the fact that this match was bad. It was a very good match. The issue with this is the fact that they didn't have the kind of build-up like the Lucha Dragons were doing. Week after week they were having good matches, entertaining matches to the WWE audience, and yet they pulled the rug underneath them and gave it to New Day for no good reason at all, and not to mention the Lucha Dragons were beating them almost week after week anytime they faced each other, which I believe they faced each other maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of between WrestleMania and Extreme Rules. It's really doesn't make any sense. It's really ass backwards in my personal opinion. The match itself, I have to say, was definitely a 3.5 out of 5 star match. But the wrong team won. It should have been Cesaro and Tyson Kidd who walked away as the tag team champions, retaining their titles.
Yes, they were on a roll. They were a great tag team. And I guess New Day won just to piss off the fans. Because despite their positive, role model or gimmick or whatever, the fans just don't give a crap.
No, they don't. It's very... I can't be behind this tag team. Personally, to me, them being tag team champions for a long period of time, like several months until maybe, say, SummerSlam, I don't see how that can be possible with the audience being behind that. I think they're absolute shit. I think their whole gimmick is retarded. Yeah, well, I highly doubt that's going to happen. I think they're going to keep the belts on them. I think it would be completely pointless of having New Day win the tag titles and then lose the tag titles right back to the team they beat for those belts. I think that would be really retarded and fucked up. They could have just stuck with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd keeping the belts in the first place. But overall, match-wise, I have to say it was good. But leading into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, New Day did not look like a tag team that was worthy enough to carry the tag team titles. Bottom line, there's no rhyme or reason why they should have won those tag team titles.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, they were just kind of thrown in there just to piss the fans off.
Well, I know that you follow my videos and whatnot, and as all of my viewers that are subscribed to my channel and any new viewers, if you haven't checked out any of my other content about the reviews on WWE, I have mentioned that I believe that the Lucha Dragons should have been facing Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, and it should have been a summer-long build between the tag teams and having them go at it back and forth. Have Cesaro and Tyson Kidd retain the belts by DQ, and they have to repeat another match for the next pay-per-view, and so forth and so forth. Yeah, but Tyson Kidd and Cesaro were that heel tag team. It was like they were competing two heel tag teams against each other. Again.
When you quickly put two heel team or two individual heels together, the one that the fans hate the most will get the more boos, while the other guy for their team quickly does a face turn.
Well, let's not beat this match to death, be honest with you on this. I just didn't think that was the right idea. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro were carrying the belts very well. I mean, they weren't getting the level of prestige I believe they should have been receiving as tag team champions, but regardless of all that, they were having good matches, and the audience was really into their matches. Again, this match was a great match. I was very entertained by it, but overall, the winner was just fucking dumb as hell, and they only had one good match, and that was because of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd facing them for the tag titles. So, again, it was shit. But I'm going to allow you to go ahead and put your intake about the overall view of the match, like the overall rating of this match. Go ahead.
Overall rating, match-wise, you saw a few good spots. I'd probably give it at least a 3.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a fan of the result.
Yeah, same here. The next match I do believe was John Cena and Rusev for the U.S. title in a chain match, correct?
Something on the line, yeah, I believe so. Now here we have a match that was moved up to high, the rematch for WrestleMania, and of course, Rusev named the stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Only way to win it by dragging your opponent 50 corners and touching the ball or turnbuckles. I mean, we've seen this match.
Yeah, except this time it's being dealt with a chain. And, not to cut you off or anything, but personally, this match was probably one shitty fucking put together match. I give this match a 2 out of 5 stars. This match was fucking garbage. There was nothing entertaining about this. I spent most of my time looking at my cell phone, looking at my YouTube views on my videos that I've uploaded, and checking out other things that are going on in the YouTube website of the channels I'm subscribed to and other new channels I might subscribe to. I just found this completely idiotic. This match had no serious... it wasn't even that serious. The WrestleMania match was better than this chain match, and that's pretty sad to say.
The thing that this match was, it was basically Rusev touching about how he lost at WrestleMania, so he wanted to have a match that he thought he could win by putting Russia's name into it, though. And he won during the leading up to the pay-per-view, he showed how that dominate or force he could be with that chain, but
yeah.
Then he was wrapping up the chain on the entire arm and just using that single weapon. It's fun being attached to it, and it's kind of hard to actually knock the guy out while he's attached, you kind of drag him along for turnbuckle.
Yeah, but here's...
But the end result was obvious. Cena was going to win.
Yeah.
Lana getting kicked, kind of interfered, and Rusev, telling her to leave because what happened at WrestleMania, so he kind of really screwed himself. And he got an aid to him, and then he won. Of course, that was after they had he touched all 3 turnbuckles to that.
Yeah, this is where this... You're getting towards where I noticed something here, and this is where it pissed me off. Every time there was an interruption, they cleared everything off. At the end of this match, despite the fact of how horrible and boring this match really was, the ending, again, was another contradiction to everything they said in the rules. If there's an interruption, the corners are cleared and they start all over again. this was not the case. Each one of them got all three corners together, and then there was one corner. Nice little, dramatical feel to it, but still, it was totally disregarding the rules. And the main event got the same thing.
I just want to wrap up the matchup, and granted, it was different from, say, the Texas Bull Rope match that JBL and Eddie Guerrero had.
Yeah, but it made more sense. It was more of an accidental thing that JBL won the title. This one wasn't like that. This was just really stupid. They both stop, they stare at each other. John Cena FUs him, or AAs, whatever the fuck you want to call it these days. I don't really care. I call it the FU. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's my attitude, because that's what this match should have been. It should have been gritty. It should have had some real emotional, roller coaster ride for the audience. And there was nothing of that in this match. You literally did not have John Cena do anything with the chain heavily. You didn't see Rusev do anything. They didn't look like they were banged up whatsoever. They looked like they were just having a regular, ordinary match. You're making him sound like he's Christian here. Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's the thing. People say, oh, John Cena buries the younger stars that he's placed against. That's not the case. It's the WWE creative team that buries these young stars. They're the ones that make the decisions on what matches they set up between him and the opponent John Cena is going to face. And this is going to bury Rusev completely. It's going to make him completely look irrelevant of what they've built up. I do not agree with this idea. The only thing they could do to reprimand any of the decision making that they're doing here is have Rusev win. John Cena, regardless, if he was to say I quit, it would have a turning point or a new chapter in John Cena's career. Rusev, on the other hand, they have him say I quit. He is fucking pathetic in the WWE's eyes, the WWE audience's eyes.
You have nowhere to go. I mean, what are you going to do? Guys, I'm not going to challenge for the IC title now. I'm going to go in.
It's gonna. It's personally gonna screw up his character image. He ain't gonna look like this badass Russian who kicks everybody's ass and everything. He's gonna look like a quitter. He's gonna look like all this stuff that he's done throughout for the last year up to now is for nothing. It was completely for nothing, wasting the people's time, wasting their time and energy getting mad over this dumb character. It's like saying, hey, we're going to get you so pissed off at Rusev so much and invested in this guy to lose, yet he ain't losing. He's beating everybody we place in front of him. And then John Cena comes along. We're going to have John Cena beat him every step of the way outside of the Fastlane pay-per-view and give him the big WrestleMania moment against Rusev and have him win the match, get the belt, and then carry it through and have him make Rusev say, I quit at Payback? Fucking retarded, dumb as shit. Horrible decision. It should have just been ended right then and there. They did the same thing with Bray Wyatt and John Cena. With Bray Wyatt and John Cena, it didn't hurt Bray Wyatt so badly when he lost to John Cena in the third match. But in this case...
You had great matches to begin with. I mean, you had that cage match that...
Yeah. And that last man standing, despite the fact John Cena won, which people didn't want to see, I didn't want to see it either, even though I am a John Cena fan. I didn't think it was the right thing to do to Bray Wyatt, but it didn't hurt him either. It didn't make him look that bad. It was the aftermath of that match that made him look stupid, and that was on WWE's creative side that fucked Bray Wyatt up through that short portion of the time between June till I'd have to say till Survivor Series, maybe. You know,
Yeah,
that's when they started him.
They brought it, and that's why they wanted to build him up again, and they Jericho. Am I correct?
No, Jericho was actually after. That's when he was starting to lose momentum. Jericho and him did not blend well together, especially that Battleground match. That was fucked up. Very bad together match. They didn't do a very good job together in that match. But let's not kill this video so much on just the burial of Rusev.
Yeah, let's get back to the whole pay-per-view. Now we're done with John Cena versus Rusev, so the next match would be
Naomi and Nikki Bella. This match we can talk very short and sweet about. Nikki Bella retains the... Okay, well, Nikki Bella, she retained her championship. The match wasn't all that interesting. Complete bore fest. I give it a 1.5 out of 5 stars. So we're not going to get in...
I'm just going to say this. Why can't WWE make the A-roster divas also as good as NXT? That's all I'm going to say about that.
Because WWE is sexist and racist, in my opinion. That's all I have to say on that subject. And there's been stories thrown around about them being racist by a couple of WWE former talents. But anyway, moving on with this shitty-ass pay-per-view, the Roman Reigns and Big Show's Last Man Standing match. Big surpriser, a dark horse match that I didn't particularly think was going to be all that great. And shockingly enough, this was the best match on the whole entire card. It was better than the world title match. It was better than any other freaking match they placed on this damn pay-per-view. Oh, that it wouldn't have had the same... I'm glad they didn't do that, because truthfully, it wouldn't have had the same impact that they would have had with that chokeslam. That chokeslam through the table with Big Show and Roman Reigns was actually pretty damn good. I did enjoy seeing that. Yeah, that match was very shocking, to say the least. And on top of that, this match was definitely a 4-star match. I have to give it that much out of a 5-star. Definitely, it was a good match. The audience was very well into this match. People were jumping up and down, screaming "Holy shit!" All kinds of crazy stunts. I love the spear at the end, but the ending of it was so... It was just a rip-off of Del Rio and Big Show from 2013's SmackDown episode where Big Show lost the World Championship. I think that was so stupid, but I understand... Yeah, that's very true. If they would have done that, they would have hurt Roman Reigns a lot more. Honestly, I don't think they hurt Roman Reigns by doing this, but, and I know why they did it. They were trying to help Big Show look good at the same time. They wanted both of them to look good at the end. And I understand that, but you're ripping off something that's been done before. Why couldn't, you know...
Look how many times they redid the Montreal Drew job.
Well, that's true, and they shouldn't be doing that. I mean, that ending, that spear should have been the ending. That would have been perfectly fine. I don't think that would hurt Big Show. And honestly, the people in the WWE don't care about Big Show. No, the one where he speared Big Show through a table by running on the ring steps, and then spearing him through the announce table next to him. Yeah, well, I'm just saying that he hit the spear perfect. He landed right through the announce table, Big Show and him, and that should have been it. That should have really been the ending. And instead, he used the other announce table that, Michael Cole and the rest of the crew were using, and picked that up and threw it on top of the show, and that's it. But honestly, who cares about trying to make the Big Show good in this match? It should be focused on Roman Reigns. They're trying to build him up to be a main eventer, which now he's getting his World Championship title match at this upcoming pay-per-view with Randy Orton added to it. As you guys may know or seen Raw last night, that's what has occurred. But at this time, Roman Reigns should have just been walking away with the spear through the table on Big Show, and that should have been it. But overall, match-wise, I'd say it was a 4 out of 5 star match. What's your overall opinion about the whole rating?
It's the highlight of the night, so yeah, I would give it a 4.
Okay, definitely, man. Alright, so now we're moving on with this shitty-ass fucking pay-per-view. And,
If you really thought about stipulations that they made, but just give the middle finger to the fans, the main event has that in between.
yeah, I don't know if we're skipping a match at all, because I didn't write this down on paper, but who the fuck cares if whatever was between the Roman Reigns Big Show and the main event. But we're moving on to the main event. This has been quite a long, detailed video on this pay-per-view, as well as other conversations. But we're going to move into this main event and then pretty much put an end to this whole conversation about Extreme Rules. The main event was pretty lackluster, to say the least. The fucking match was shit. Okay, well, we got a conflict of opinion and idea about this stipulation, because in this stipulation for the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins mentions that his stipulation is Randy Orton cannot use the RKO, which was exactly explained in the beginning of this match. They specifically said... No. If you go back and you watch the beginning of that match while they're going into the ring, JBL and Michael Cole both talk about this stipulation and say, well, if Randy Orton hits this RKO, he automatically loses the match. This did not apply to anybody else using the RKO. And if you want to get technical, Randy Orton did use the RKO. No, not on Seth Rollins, but on Kane. So yes, he did use the RKO in the match. That should have been... Again, that's why this match sucked dick. This should have been the highlight of the night. It was your main event. It was for the World Championship. It was Seth Rollins' very first title defense in his career. And this is what you're making him do? It makes him look pathetic. That's number one. Number two, Seth Rollins hit the RKO on Randy Orton, crawled out of the ring like a little bitch, won his championship. Simple as that. But here's the thing. Randy Orton was banned from using the RKO. Nobody else was. This was a crock of shit for WWE to use an excuse to continue having Randy Orton challenge and chase for the WWE Championship. And now they've added Roman Reigns to the mix. Well, here's the thing. You have a valid point. I mean, if you want to take exact specific words right there, yes, I would agree with you. But here's the thing. Why didn't Michael Cole and JBL, when they were talking about that, say the RKO is just banned? Why did, they're mixing the view, they're confusing the WWE audience. Well, here, I'll give you a prime example of what makes WWE so fucking confusing of late. They have a match between Triple H and Sting last month at WrestleMania 31. We're watching the match together, and we're seeing interference happening. We're looking at each other going, what the hell's going on here? And then they happen to throw in, oh, this is a no disqualification. Not at one point in time did they happen to mention that it's no disqualification before they did the promo of this match, or before they even both got in the ring. Every time they've ever done something like this in the past, though, like randomly throw a no disqualification in, the announcer would at least state, hey, this is a no disqualification, yada yada yada, and there you go. Prime example, WrestleMania 17, Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. It could have been done the same exact way with this. And instead, they just throw that out there. This was the same thing. This was completely confusing. To me, I was thinking the RKO is banned for Randy Orton to use it. Like Shawn Michaels versus Randy Orton. Shawn Michaels in 2007 at Survivor Series couldn't use the super kick on Randy Orton. Randy Orton couldn't get disqualified. They made it simplistic. They made it understandable. It wasn't confusing. This was completely off the walls. It did not make any sense and very confusing to a WWE audience and a fan as much as to myself. I found this to be completely and utterly ridiculous. A play on words, a twist and a turn, and just WWE making their own rules as they went along with this match.
Okay, now that the Seth Rollins situation of the RKO was there, regardless of the fact he did use this to win the match, what the hell happened with Randy Orton's stipulation of the cage match or the authority from being wrong? I'm sure we all saw, JJ Security getting involved.
Yeah, that's another thing. Steel cage matches, they don't mean shit. They really don't. You have a steel cage match. Why? Oh, to keep all the outside interference out of the ring and everything in the ring.
What they should have done, and I'll say this, you want to keep the people from climbing over the cage and getting inside or getting to the door or whatever. They should have settled inside the one type of cage where you can't get involved.
Oh, Hell in a Cell?
They have to save that particular match for the people
that
it's named after.
Yeah.
It's a crock.
Yeah, it is. It is a crock of shit. They need to get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views. They need to go back to the way it used to be, having titled pay-per-views like No Mercy, Backlash. I mean, those kind of pay-per-views meant something. You didn't have to follow a specific type of guideline for matches for a card. You could do pretty much anything and be very creative with it.
You know, they brought in the special stipulation matches, like Hell in a Cell. But then there were actually moves to win them, and that match would just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah. But the thing is, this match was really very disappointing. Two of the... Yeah, yeah, he sucks. This match to me is a dud. Yeah. Personally, I don't know if he had the same exact character in ROH. I highly doubt that. I think he was a bad guy per se, but not like such a little pussy who couldn't defend his championship, always was looking for a loophole or a sneaky way to win. I mean, they're trying to make Seth Rollins a version of Edge, and it is failing miserably in my opinion. Edge did this better than anybody. He would win the title, but he would have title defenses that had an ending, that weren't so controversial all the time. And this guy, he's just... It was shit. It was absolute shit. Yep, it was garbage. Yeah. Yeah. Since you're bringing up those two schmucks, you know what's funny? You would think that if they're going to have security, gimmick security characters for Seth Rollins, they would actually be bigger than Seth Rollins is? I mean... Yeah. 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 There isn't. There's nothing. They're just a distraction. That's all they are. They're not badasses. They're not anything to be, intimidated of. They're just distractions for the characters that Seth Rollins is facing against. That's all they are. And it's just fucking stupid as shit. But anyway, my overall opinion about this main event is it's a dud. I don't even give it a star at all. What's your per se of the overall rating of this match?
I'm pretty sure I said this when the match was over, and I'll say it again. What?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what Matthew did. He texted me and said, "What the fuck was that?" And I have to say the same thing. They went ahead, and I'll go right off your own words. You are saying that the RKO was banned. Okay, so why wasn't the title stripped from Seth Rollins altogether? There was a referee there. He wasn't unconscious. The referee was right there and watched it. The complete whole setting and stipulation of the match was confusing, Nobody knew what the hell they're doing. Not even the story, not even the characters within the story knew what the fuck they were doing. It's just an excuse to keep Randy Orton in the title picture and say that this was a controversial ending without an ending. That's all it was.
And of course, we also saw Kane's involvement with Chuck Southern.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, and I'm just, like I said, like I said a little bit earlier, I'm seriously thinking that slowly building up a face-off between Seth Rollins and Kane.
Yeah.
And we're not going to see this, but I just hope
I don't think it's going to happen. I really think that would be stupid as shit. What, you think that Seth Rollins and Kane are going to go at it for the title in the between now and SummerSlam?
I'm right to try to have getting this up on the sideline in case when things, I guess when they want a decent man, then where the authority kind of impose on each other. Let's say Seth Rollins being a cocky little bastard he is, brings everything on Kane. And which case, if you think about it, Kane could put Seth Rollins out any day of the week.
Yeah. But anyway, we've really, this is really a long review of Extreme Rules, and it was complete garbage. I don't want us to get like Joe Cronin's show or Bruce Blitz or something like that. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys didn't mind this being an extremely long video, but we kind of went off topic on a few things, but got into detail about some other things.
We overacted when it comes to shitty-ass things.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Signing out, guys. World of Wrestling with Matt Eagle 87. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he kind of went off there. I do apologize, guys. We had a disconnection. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure speaking with you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and take care, guys. Bye.